Okay, deck tech. So, yeah, back to modern. I was actually experimenting a little bit. First league, I went 1-4, and I was thinking, should I show this one? But see, the problem is after losing like the first 3 games, not gonna lie, I kind of ended up having a very defeatist, sour attitude, which is probably something I have to work on because it probably hurts my ability to rally. And maybe I could have gone 3-2, which 3-2 is better than I mean 2-3. I mean is better than 1-4. You know, but yeah, it's just not a very pleasant viewing experience. Yeah, if I can just work on having a better attitude, not becoming very demoralized when I start losing, maybe I can show this. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you and hit the hype button, especially if you are hyped to see me try modern again. Yeah, because I think that this might be the configuration. I was trying. I was trying, to be clever with a White Orchid Phantom, and I thought about Ephemerate, which everybody is playing this nowadays. Dang it, man. Everybody's playing this card nowadays, so I can't really be cool like everybody else, but and of course, what's the card called again? Touch the Spirit Realm. Personally, I kind of like this card. I kind of like Touch the Spirit Realm better than Ephemerate, just because it has some functionality even when I don't have anything to flicker. But ultimately, it just really wasn't going anywhere. Like, it's hard to explain, but yeah, just although the fields do seem to have some use, I just find that replacing the fields with another land just generally is more powerful than a 2/2 flying first strike. I just found that 2/2 flying first strike body was practically just a 2-mana, cleansing wildfire that didn't draw me a card. It was almost like just a cleansing wildfire effect without the draw card effect. Like it was the 2/2 body was completely useless. And I mean maybe there is a way to go about it that I'm just not seeing. What I ended up doing is I ended up pretty much rebuilding this deck, the Pioneer deck, because yeah, I mean, I've got different variations here, but we're not that far off. Honestly, I was playing Get Lost in the the Airbender card isn't out yet, but yeah, I have no idea if this is gonna be good or not, but the Cleansing Wildfire Tribal, basically. Well, anyway, I'm not necessarily expecting that. It's going to be great. Although maybe it surprises. I'm sure somebody must have already thought of that. Although they're probably thinking that if it's any good, I'm probably going to do it first. So if I don't do it, maybe people will assume people know that I'm gonna try something like that when that new Cleansing Wildfire card is available on the bots or legal in MTGO. I'm not even sure if it's legal yet or not. All I know is I can't buy it on the bots. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. Winds of Abandon. This used to be Get Lost. I'm just not seeing as many Planeswalkers in Modern, and the sorcery. The sorcery is honestly the bigger downside compared to the land effect. I do find that that the land is mostly negligible, but mostly it's the upside. I mean, it exiles, which is also nice, but it's the upside is that this can be a Wrath at 6 mana, one-sided, may I add, which pretty much you don't really get an effect like this anywhere else. Like a one-sided Wrath is pretty crazy, and it's very rare that they're going to have any basics left by the time I can cast this at 6. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's possible that if a lot more Planeswalkers start seeing play, I may have to make room for Get Lost. But I'm actually finding, good old Winds of Abandon, which I'd kind of forgotten about. I'd kind of abandoned, pun intended. Still pretty darn good, actually. Still pretty darn good. Wrath of God, I just can't get away from this. I actually had Day of Judgment in my initial build, and I forgot. Oh yeah, Wrath of God is strictly better in Modern, so there's that. You know, if people are playing a lot of meddling mage type effects that name a card and you can't cast that card, I suppose we could do a 2/2 Wrath and Day of Judgment split, but there's just enough regeneration, mostly from the older sets, that still is still around. I think they're even printing some of it in the Modern Horizon sets. Yeah, so I think I'll just take the strictly better Day of Judgment. Oh yeah, and Soul Guide Lantern. This used to be Candy Trail, and I used to not have Wrath of the Skies. There was a time when I was experimenting with other possibilities, but I think the thing is there's so much graveyard shenanigans in Modern. There's a lot more than in Pioneer, and unlike in Pioneer, also it's very game altering and game ending in Modern. There's much stronger reanimation decks. There's much stronger. Oh yeah, and the main thing is that Flage card. That however you pronounce it. That red white 3 mana. When it comes into play, you Lightning Helix them, and then it has the Escape 5. That card is just freaking everywhere. And while Soul Guide Lantern isn't it doesn't auto win you the match or anything. It's just really nice to, especially if you can just snipe it out of the graveyard. Yeah, then you don't even have to necessarily crack it for it to do its thing. It's just very, very nice. There's enough Exile effects that we're not necessarily called foliage or whatever you call it anyway. But it's more of just a symptom of a bigger thing in Modern. There's so much stuff using the graveyard, so much more powerful than in Pioneer. So Candy Trail, ended up becoming Soul Guide Lantern. That also frees up sideboard space too. Yeah, and I actually think Wrath of the Skies is pretty good. This card is obviously not available in Pioneer, and yeah, this would be pretty sick if we could play this in Pioneer. But yeah, it's not strictly better than Farewell, but it's generally much more efficient. And yeah, especially Affinity. Affinity is a very scary deck, and it is worth noting that if we really need to, and sometimes we do, we can X equals 0, and we can even sweep away a Urza Saga. But yeah, it just oh yeah, another thing too, Quarry Steel Cutter. That's one thing. If this was in Pioneer, I definitely would play it. If nothing else, because the Quarry Steel Cutter decks, especially the Prowess type decks, it can be very challenging to both wipe the board and also deal with the Quarry Steel Cutter. And of course, this is the only Wrath that pretty much can do both. Of course, it only hits 2 drops and below, but most of the threats Prowess decks play anyway are 2 mana or less, and usually Quarry Steel Cutter is the only threat that's 2 mana. So there will be some situations where this is a 3 mana Wrath as well, which is pretty good. Of note is you can pump more mana into this to get extra energy, so that you can play a future one at a discount. So that is something to consider. Probably won't come up that often, but it is something to consider. But honestly, even if it was just 2 mana X, like a Pernicious Deed type effect, it would be already exactly what we were looking for. And of course, it's Modern, so unless you're playing on a budget, and at this point, this deck is already freaking budget friendly. This deck, no fetches, no shocks, pretty much Solitude is the only card that costs any type of money. I suppose you could, if you really wanted to, play Get Lost or something instead of this, but Solitude is so sweet. It's having a free removal spell, and also hard cast. Most of the time, honestly, we hard cast it. This is pretty on rate, honestly, as a 5 mana card. But it's just the fact that you can also pitch it. That's just so freaking amazing. And since we can't play Fury anymore, this is kind of how we get our incarnation fix. But yeah. Oh, and of course, High Noon. I'm finding that this card is pretty much just as excellent, maybe even more excellent in Modern than it is in Pioneer. There you go. 2 Ghost Quarters. Honestly, I don't bring this in that often, but if they're particularly susceptible, you know, sometimes this can hit their basics and you can just keep them off of lands entirely. Yeah, this is pretty much the plan. And oh yeah, and in this particular build, Path to Exile is actually better than like Prismatic Ending and these other cards. It's funny, these other cards kind of made Path to Exile extinct. But if you're wondering, this first of all, we're not multicolor, so we don't necessarily have the luxury to play Prismatic Ending or Leyline Binding or whatever. But second of all, even if we could play them, we might honestly prefer Path, simply because it's almost just a 1-mana exile effect in this deck, because you know we run them out of basics pretty quickly. So you know this may not necessarily be good against all decks, because the ramp is, you know, it is a downside, but if there ever was a deck that would minimize the downside, it's obviously a Field of Ruin deck. Yeah, and don't forget, obviously this is something that if you watch my Pioneer content, which you know maybe you haven't, but keep in mind that the Serra Paragon, although it can't repeat, you know, return these indefinitely, it does have a kind of Crucible of Worlds type effect where you can keep bringing the fields back at least once, you know, per turn. And the Restoration of Eiganjo can buy back a field at least for 1 turn. You can also just buy back other cards. You can also buy back Restoration of Eiganjo with Serra Paragon, which actually happens more than you might think. If the game goes particularly long, that's a very powerful play. But yeah. And lastly, you might be wondering, why Emergency Eject? Well, I mean, this could be something like Get Lost or, I don't know, something else, but it's mostly just that this deals with literally anything, and the downside is pretty much just non-existent. Yeah, and in a deck like this, by the time we're casting this, they usually don't have excess mana to use their lander token until a bit later in the game anyway, and by that time they're usually out of basics. So it's mostly just it has 0 downside, and it also hits any non-land permanent. Although honestly, I'm very close to thinking maybe we just play Get Lost, because being 1 mana cheaper is pretty huge. On the other hand, the map tokens are definitely more of a downside than the lander token. So I might stick with Emergency Eject, and also, you know, Get Lost doesn't hit artifacts, of course. But anyway, we shall see. We shall see. Let's get to the games. Okay. Nope. Unfortunately, hand is no. Hand is ultimately just no. Alright, this hand is yes. Winds could be good, but yeah. It's not as efficient as Path, and it's not as efficient at targeted removal as Path, and not as efficient at wrathing as Wrath. But its ability to be both, I think, absolutely justifies a spot. And it was in my deck before. This looks probably like Amulet Titan. Oh no, Affinity. Okay, this is where Wrath of the Skies might be super useful. I don't want them to Pithing Needle naming Demolition Field. Okay, that's fine. Not cast. Gonna force a negation me, bro. Weapons manufacturing. I just don't know how useful spot removal is in this matchup. Well, this is where Wrath of God can be good. Maybe I should do this now. No, what am I kidding? I should do Wrath now. Okay. Hopefully I draw a land. Yes, okay. I'm gonna go end of turn Pithing Needle. Change of plans. Maybe I have to. Hopefully they don't draw a metallic rebuke. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, we definitely want Wrath of the Skies. And although notably, it will set off the munitions. I was at Exile. Maybe we actually need to play Farewell, but no. I mean, I think we can tank some damage probably. Let's see, Eject, Ghost Quarter, Blast Zone. So Blast Zone can be good, but we'll play Ghost Quarter. Blast Zone is not as important when we have Wrath of the Skies. Alright, let's go. Alright. We'll disguise that we got the field. Not that it makes that big of a difference. Okay, now if they play a bunch of 1-drops, okay. Alright, I'm going to take a high-risk, high-reward strategy here, because Wrath of the Skies can clear Weapons Manufacturing and Urza Saga and whatever token it makes next turn. Or not. Yes, I have to take 6, but I think it's a price I'm willing to pay. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, well, they used that on that as opposed to something else. So fine by me. Okay. I'll run it back. Yeah, so I take it back. Wrath of the Sky is way better than Farewell in this matchup. Just being able to cast it for cheaper, it's so critical. I'm gonna keep. I'm not gonna like it, but I'm gonna keep. Because they do have enough non-basics that I can count on unlocking white. Okay. I probably shouldn't have played that. I probably should have ghost quartered that. Yeah, I'm gonna Solitude. Probably should have waited for, I don't know. Alright, let's go for Wrath of God, and I will absolutely Ghost Quarter my own land to make it happen. And Ward fucking 4 and 5, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, well, we felt that last matchup felt, you know, like it felt like we actually had the tools to win potentially. Is it a graveyard based deck or not? Okay. An argument could have been made to hold up March, but if they haven't played a 1-drop by now, I kind of doubt. If they play Fable, we're gonna hit the Philia. Question is, should I play Restoration? Because they could have all kinds of value engines and such. Plus, this way we can play around Ragavan if they draw it. Just scooted 2 cards deep. Looter Scooter. Maybe I should have done this before they attacked. Because they're probably going to play Consign to Memory. Okay, I can Winds of Abandon. Hopefully they don't Spell Pierce me. That just seemed like a better use of my mana. Yes, it means I'm not holding up against Ragavan, so maybe I'm going to regret that. Well, maybe they'll remove something. So I kind of like it, but I'm actually okay losing that. Yes, cast Wrath of God. You know you want to. Okay. Might seem a little risky, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Hold up, March. Okay. No, there's absolutely nothing here that I... Maybe this, I guess. No. No, you know what? Mazemind. Man, getting rid of Mazemind just feels so wrong. No. Yeah, I have to hit the Draco. I hope that they don't hit a good card. Because I can't take 4 damage. Because if they have Tribal Flames, it's just over. I might actually have turned the corner. I don't want to celebrate too early, but it's possible. We'll probably have to Solitude, regardless of what they play. If we have to use a lightning bolt, so be it. Okay, well, I needed that. Okay. Oh, I think I have to. I'll gain the 3 life. Hit that black source. Okay. Take it. I actually think here we want Emergency Eject, because it's another answer to their leyline thingy. I would have, like, Wrath could have been an idea, but problem is it costs 6 to deal with their I don't like it, but I'm going to believe in the heart of the cards. Ah, diversity is our strength here. Roll it a 4, at least that's going to help. Okay. I don't like it, but... Ooh. Okay, I think this is the play. Yes, we mana ramp him, but it's a small price to pay to get rid of Draco. Don't, okay, good. Stubborn denial me, bro. If they play Leyline, I'm totally solituding in response. The exuberant shepherd. Quantum Ridley. Powerful. The problem is they could have just ephemerated in response, so I probably should have. I don't want to Soul to. Put it around ephemerate. Oh, that's a thing. Phalange. Da, 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 da. Ideally, I want to keep them off of Phalange mana. Okay. We don't want them playing that 1 mana card. Crack the lander token, you know you wanna. Ready? The pup. We like the pup. Okay. I wonder if the pup could benefit our deck. The problem is it's kind of a lightning rod. Like, all of our creatures are pretty much a 2-for-1. Yeah, except for the pup. I think it's too much of a lightning rod. They have Ragavan, so they have other... Yeah. Alright. Yeah, let's play this. I will say one thing. I mean, I will say one thing. Soul Guide Lantern seems better than Candy Trail in Modern. Oh, Affinity? Should I put this into the graveyard? Okay. Okay. Do this. Give it a counter. Sink into stupor. Okay. I might start scrying. Okay, but that clears the way for my Wrath of God potentially resolving later on. I think this is a little too good to pass up. I'll still play this. If they have Metallic Rebuke, again, that clears the way for Wrath of God. Not bad, if I say so myself. Do like this. So far, not really much commentary to give. Other than that, I kind of regret um, feeding that Mazemind into their Metallic Rebuke, but it is what it is. I'll bring back a Demolition Field. Simply because hitting my land drops is nice. I guess I should have brought back Restoration, but if they've had a Metallic Rebuke, okay. Definitely want Wrath of the Skies. And this particular matchup, kind of looking like Ghost Quarter, could be pretty good. I don't think this is a matchup for Soul Guide. Meow. Yeah, let's go. Not necessarily. Okay. Okay. Play that out there. All right, well, the plan is to march that. Then I'm another Metallic Rebuke. Wish we had another white source that could come into play untapped, I mean. Okay, well, take that, I guess. Okay. It's just too kind of far off for me to play this as a sweeper. Well, let's hopefully this resolves. Okay. I think we want that. These guys have flying. Alright, I'm probably running this into Metallic Rebuke, but so be it. Force and Negation, interesting. Well, we had a bunch of wraths. I guess I blew one early, but... Okay. Kappa Cannier. Interesting. Interesting. I like this. I think they can... Okay. So we know they most likely have Metallic Rebuke. Otherwise... But I still have to... We'll do this just for mana efficiency. Yeah, because they're just going to pop the Tormod's Crypt. Okay, that's fine. They had to pitch Flame of the Nor, which is a pretty good card. Is that flying? I don't think so. I'm going to path to Exile, I think. So this is Ward 5. All right, we'll take it. Yeah, I think this hand is a no-go. It's tempting, but there's no colored sources and no guarantee I hit my second land drop. All right, well, I'm going to do the unthinkable and put a Plains to the bottom. Now, you know what? I'm going to put Serra Paragon to the bottom. Okay. I should have put Plains to the bottom. We can fetch it out. Watch, we're going to look like a genius. We're not going to hit our third land drop. I mean, we're not going to hit our fourth land drop, rather. Or rather, we are not going to draw another land until turn 3. So we're going to look very smart. Ah, never mind. I guess we'll keep this an unknown, since they know about our 3 planes. Okay, well, at least they had to pitch something too. Why not tap this? Is there some advantage to exiling the lands? They're artifetchables, good to know. Ooh, Psychic Frog. That's frogtastic. I need a land. And now I'm going to look like a genius again for... No! Well, hopefully this blocks it at least. Hopefully they don't rip a removal spell. If they rip Fatal Push, they don't have a way to get Revolt. Do this on upkeep in case they have Subtlety. Ready. That's fine, I guess. I got a wrath or something. Okay. Well, that's going to get blast sound. This is one of the juiciest blast zones of all time. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, that went surprisingly well. While they seem somewhat susceptible to Ghost Quarter, I also can't really... Question is, how important is Soul Guide Lantern? It doesn't look like that important. The Emergency Eject? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this. I could play Wrath of the Skies. No, we want Eject because it's a clean answer to Murktide. I changed my mind because Wrath is potentially a 2-for-1. I'll keep. I definitely want to path this so I can play Mazemind next turn. See, this is like, if you ever wondered, like, why is Rampant Growth not a great card? This is why. Basically, I converted that Psychic Frog into a Rampant Growth, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Although, obviously, if your deck is based on ramping, then obviously it's a different story. Okay, well, they've obviously got Counterspell. Still, we want to exhaust it so that maybe Wrath of God can do its thing. Interesting. So they bluffed a Counterspell. Interesting. I mean, I would imagine if they had Counterspell, they would have used it. Why would they not have attacked? Well, we may never know. Bane of Nightmares. Oh. Let's see. No, I can do better. And I swapped this out too. That sucks so bad. Bane of Nightmares. Okay. I wonder why they had to give Kaito hexproof. Actually, I know why, because it would have been subject to getting blown out, and there wouldn't have been hype around it, and it wouldn't have been a successful card. I got a feeling they got a removal spell. Yep, okay. What I could do, nah. At least that's kind of a virtual card advantage. Should I tank it? That card was mostly useless anyway. Okay, well now I know that I need Emergency Eject. Kaito is kind of, yeah, kind of good. Yeah, I'll keep. Okay. Turn 2 Psychic Frog every single game. Oh no, this is not good. I need a land drop. Uh, Alright, I think I'll just naturally draw. Oy, oy, oy. Just so bad. Okay. Okay, well, least. They know about Wrath of God, so I'm not expecting this to resolve. At least in theory, I'm drawing a lot of cards too, but I don't know. Okay. Okay. Blast Zone, at least in theory, can take care of that. And speak of the devil. I'll obviously wait until their turn. Because if they dash Ragavan, I want to be able to intercept it too. Let's see if this lives. If they sink into Stupor, I'm absolutely going to pitch Solitude. Alright, we're pitching. I guess I should have done it on their turn, because they'd have 3 mana tapped. So we have to hold this up just in case they have Ragavan. We do want to draw land, but ideally we want those lands to not be plains. They discarded a basic island in their hand, I guess. Orcish Bow. I think we're fine with this. Yeah. Let's try to path. Somehow we are a little short on lands this game. I'm a believer I can hit land drops, yay. Okay. I guess I'll discard a Winds of Abandon. Well, this is perfect because this means I can try to get this Solitude out of my hand. I don't have to discard the hand size anymore. Very nice. Ooh, Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. They haven't shown us Spell Pierce yet. Hey! Okay, let's go. I guess I'll keep. This guy. This guy. Kappa Cannoneer. Hopefully they're gonna kill me. I'm probably dead next turn. Oh, that's gonna counter. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. I just need one more land. Yes. I hope there's not something I'm missing here. Okay. Okay, Serra Paragon. Ruin, Soulguide Lantern. Exile Kappa Cannoneer, because I do not want to see that thing again. I'm going to take my chances. Okay. This doesn't have trample, does it? Um, Not sure. Wrath of God, this is one of the only alpha beta cards that pretty much retained its power level. This is pretty much exactly as powerful as it's always been. Oh no. I don't know how I feel about that. Uh, yeah, no. I don't think I need more of this. That's what I think, though. Fill the room, fill the room. Yes. Okay. Wrath of the Skies. I don't think Soul Guide Lantern is at its best here. Honestly, everything else is pretty much where it's. I don't think they play any Planeswalkers. So. Hmm. Okay, let's go. This is a nope. I think this is going to be a yup. I really like Serra Paragon, but I think it's probably the most cuttable here. No. Take Field of Ruin. We may need to Wrath. Do we want to March or do we want to Wrath? I think let's March. Oh, okay, 1 second. I might. Alright, see you on the other side. I probably. Yeah, all right. So, post-league thoughts. I think this deck really has surprising potential. Um, what's weird is I actually feel like I'm kind of at a more advantage grinding in Modern than I am in Pioneer. Pioneer actually seems a bit more grindy. Like it feels like kind of every deck is trying to be what this deck is a little bit more. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're just hitting unusually good matchups. I will say that yeah, but I have been doing better too. Like since I've been using Wrath of the Skies, since I've been using Winds of Abandon, I do have a better win rate against Affinity. One of my earliest losses was Affinity. At first, I was like, dang, this is how do I even beat Kappa Cannoneer? And of course, part of the issue is I don't think I had a timely Wrath of God, or I did, and they had a Metallic Rebuke. But obviously, we have the tools. I mean, they could still get us. I mean, if they play an early Kappa Cannoneer and they have multiple Metallic Rebukes and or force negations or whatever it is, obviously they could still get us. So I do think Wrath of the Skies ended up helping that a lot. Honestly, yeah, I'm not necessarily facing that much different matchups than I was when I first got back into Modern. This particular build seems to be surprisingly good. It's been surprisingly effective at grinding, and yeah, I don't know. It actually kind of feels. I probably need more testing because again, the first time I went 1-4, it was pretty demoralizing. I can't necessarily assume that I'm gonna go 4-1 or better, hopefully better, at some point every single league. But I will say the deck felt surprisingly resilient. It did feel surprisingly like I had answers that I needed. And this league actually felt better and smoother than my average league playing the very similar version of this deck in Pioneer. So ultimately, we shall see. But I am starting to think about playing Modern a bit more, maybe. Anyway, thank you all, especially those of you who are more interested in Modern. Thanks for sticking with me while because what was it? The One Ring, and then Boros Energy just went out of control. I heard Boros Energy is still a thing. We haven't seen it even once. And honestly, when I was playing against Boros Energy every single league back when I last played Modern, like a long time ago, that's pretty much when I'm done. But yeah, Boros Energy, much more rare. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I just kind of dove feet first or head first. I didn't even necessarily research much about Modern. So I assume they banned something from Boros Energy. Not sure what exactly it was, but hopefully whatever it is they banned from it makes them more beatable. Oh, but I will say actually, I don't think I was playing Wrath of the Skies before I left Modern. This actually could have been a good card against Boros Energy because it also dealt with their artifact. Yeah, so I guess I'll wrap it up here and give the shout outs. Thanks Costi, Nevin Lena, new patron, I believe. Yeah, new patron. Welcome on board. Toby Kramer, Alex Korthauer, Big Mamu, Adrian King, Gavin Downer, Urban Lopez, Brian, Michael Patton. Yeah, thanks everybody. You have all a wonderful day. And yeah, again, like and subscribe, and use the. I don't even know if they still have that hype feature, but they were for a while. And yeah, hopefully we can go 5-0 at some point again. That'd be pretty cool. We shall see.